Hey guys, so today we're going to make the straight track. So you've already made the curved track and you put the train on it and you've made it drive. So now we're going to create the straight track, which starts off similarly to the other one and actually is a lot alike. And maybe you probably find it to be even easier. And then we're going to put that together into a segment and then put the train on there and have it drive also. So just like we did in the last one, let's start with a sketch. And we're going to do those rectangles, rectangles within a rectangle. Dimension, and 3.4 inches wide. And 1 inch tall. And now we're going to go ahead and actually we're not going to extrude it yet. In the straight track we don't need grooves on the top and the bottom because flipping a straight track over doesn't do anything for you. So instead of worrying about any kind of pattern, we're just going to make these rectangles like this. We'll just make them both. And we'll say okay, 1/4 inch. From the side it's supposed to be, what is that, 0.4 inches. And the width of the groove is supposed to be 0.35. And we'll do the same thing on this other side. 0.35, 1/4 inch in depth. Whoops, not 2.5, 0.25. Oh my goodness. 0.25. There it goes. And then from here to the side should be 0.4. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead. I'm going to do trim. I don't really need to, but I'm going to anyway. And I'm going to just trim off the line here. Remember, there's two different rectangles here. So I'm not only am I going to have to, oh, you know what it's saying? It says there's a dimension associated with it. So it's not going to let me. And that's fine. We won't worry about it. We'll just go to 3D model and we'll go to extrude. And we're going to want to select this profile and make sure we don't select the groove areas. Those should be left open. And I want this to go a total length of 12 inches. Just like that. And we'll say OK. Now we need to design the little link head on one side and an opening on the other. So again, just like we did before. See that little point right there, that yellow point? I'm going to want to make sure I don't lock onto that, because if I do, I'm not going to be able to move my rectangle, dimension it the way I want. So I'm going to avoid that. And I'm going to put an arc from here, there, up something like that. And we'll go ahead and trim off that little section. And we're going to throw a fillet. And let's go ahead and put in our dimension of 1.1875, which is 3/16 from here to there, and from here to there. And let's do the rest of our dimensions. This center point should be 1 inch off this wall. And the diameter of this knob, I believe we were using 3/4 of an inch, so 0.75. We want to make sure this thing is centered, so from the center point to this edge should be 1.7. Okay. And let's go ahead and do an equal constraint and make sure this little straight segment is exactly the same as this little straight segment right here. And let's put a dimension between those two straight segments of 0.65. Okay, now you see that it is totally blue, and then in the bottom right of the screen says fully constrained. There's no other constraints that we can put on this thing right now. And so we're going to go ahead and say 3D model, extrude, and let's select that area. And we want it to go down, and we do not want it to go 12 inches. We want it to go 1 inch. And we'll say OK. And then we're just going to go do the same thing down at the other side and cut that knob out. So I'll go ahead and do that. Put a sketch back on here. And a rectangle. with the arc connecting the two sides. And we'll trim that middle line. Somehow I got chunked into a segment. And we'll go to fillet, and that's our 3/16. So from there to there, and from there to there. Back to dimension. Plug in our width of 0.65. Plug in our distance off the side. Oops. Let's try that one again. From the center point to the end should be 1 inch. And from the center point to the outside edge, 1.7, which it is. Total radius, 0.75. Okay. And then we just have to go to our equal constraint and tell this segment to be exactly the same as this segment. And it is blue and totally locked. Okay, so now that we've got it fully constrained, we're going to go ahead and cut this out. So let's do a 3D model extrude. Select our profile, move it to cut, and change it to all. And say voila. And there is our straight piece of track. Now you can go pick a material, whichever material you want it to be. If you want it to be consistent with the curve track, you're welcome to. And save that as straight track, and then move on to the next step, which we talk about how to assemble the straight track together and then how to put the train on it and drive. It's slightly different than the curve track. Okay, see you there.